All right, guys, welcome back to another week. So this week we have big earnings week. A lot of big tech is going to be reporting, including Tesla on Monday. I believe it's after hours, so definitely look out for that. So for today, we're going to be looking at 5 charts, the 5 top setups for the week, and we will see where to go from there. So let's just get started. So today we're going to be going over Apple, Neo, PayPal, Roku, and Tesla. So we can see here, Apple does report on the 27th. So last week we did get that pullback and did bounce off of the 23.6 retracement at 142.2. And then we did bounce up quite violently with the rest of the market, with NQs and ES making those new highs on Friday. So here now the big question is really, is this really the bottom, or do we have further retracement to come? So my big level for this week is going to be the 150 level. So over 150 on Apple, we can go long, shooting for this 155 area. Otherwise, if we can't break that 150 area, I will hold off on calls on Apple and assume that we're going to be retracing downwards. So this could be the beginnings of an ABC correction, where we do get that one further leg down, and I would be looking for us to take out this 142 level so that we can come down to this 133 to 137 level for optimal buying range. And then from there, we would look to go long in this area and look for those same targets to the upside in this 150 break so that we can see 155 to 160 levels, possibly higher. So Apple's definitely one to watch. Next up, we have Neo. So Neo is a very beautiful chart. We're right here still sitting in this longer bull flag that we've seen, and we're still waiting on some confirmation, but this is looking good so far. We did get this recent large bounce that we did not enter yet in my group, and we got this pullback as anticipated, and we are taking some longs here. Why? Because this is right into my buy capture zone right here in this $42 to $43 range, where we did catch that very nice entry, and we did close above this level very, very nicely. So what we're looking for into next week is we do have this unfilled gap from 44 and a half to 45 and a half roughly. So we would like to see that fill first of all, and then we would like to take out this 47.4 level. Above this level, we do confirm that this is indeed the bottom, and we are looking to head higher up into the 50 plus region. So that is definitely something to watch, and we're going to be in this range testing the top of this bull flag. So this is going to be a critical area for Neo, where we may see some consolidation in the beginning before we do eventually potentially take off and break that long-term bull flag, shooting for these new all-time highs. So this is definitely something to watch. And in grand scheme of things, as long as this bottom of this roughly 39 and a quarter to 40 region does hold, this is a good signs for Neo. Now we are going to be heading higher soon. We do also have a small inverse head and shoulders printing here. So you can see we have right here, we have the left shoulder, and then right here, we have the head. And then lastly over here, we have a potential right shoulder printing. So this is a nice smaller trend that is agreeing with this potential bottom. So definitely next week, the two main pivot points is going to be this low of 40.43 and then this high of 47.4. As long as we can break above here, we are looking very, very good for Neo in the near term and potentially long term as well. So next up, we have PayPal. So PayPal, I usually actually don't cover this name as often, but this did come on my radar this week and looks very, very nice. So what we're looking at here is a potential fifth wave up to complete my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for this first wave in a larger wave 5. So we did actually make a new all-time high on Friday by a few cents, but we did not close above the previous all-time high. So we did close below it, which is something to note. So one thing that we are going to be looking for this week is a push above this previous all-time high. So we're going to be looking for above 310. Above $310, we can go long, and this wave will be confirmed as long as we can hold above there, and we have more upside to come in the near future. So I do have a high target potentially of around $340, and this is just a rough time target. So maybe sometime mid-August to early September, we may see this target realized. So this will definitely be on my radar and close watch for this week. Next up, we have Roku. So fairly similar setup. A lot of stocks look like this right now. And Roku had a crazy day on Friday. Last week on the watch list, we did talk about Roku stuck in this bull flag pattern that we did finally break out of this week, or I should say last week. And if you did catch this, congratulations. This was a very, very great candle on the day. This could have made your entire month, honestly, if you caught that. So now what are we looking for? We are looking to identify the local top. There's no way to really identify that yet. I don't know if this is the top or not, but one thing to note is that we are approaching the all-time high region, where we are looking to potentially see some sort of resistance in this area. So within this area, I would give this maybe 10 points to the upside, possibly left. But wherever this does end up topping out, I am going to be looking to actually buy that dip. So I'm not going to really be playing any upside on Roku until we get a dip, wherever that may be. If this just keeps shooting up, then I'm probably just going to miss the trade. So my plan here isn't to go long right away. We are going to wait for that pullback, and I'm looking to catch some bids down in this 410 to 430 region, depending on where we bounce. Ideally, the 420 region is going to be the ideal area as of this count. So this could obviously be adjusted as we have more information, but this is going to be that wave 2 of this wave 5 I'm looking into. So this would be a very nice place to buy, where we could look to target those new all-time highs. So this is definitely one to keep on watch on your radar. Not as urgent since I am waiting for that pullback, but definitely something to keep on your watch list. And lastly, Tesla. So Tesla does report earnings tomorrow, actually, after market hours. So that is something to definitely keep on your watch list for tomorrow. So Tesla here has been consolidating inside of this wedge for quite a while now, since January, after it made its high at $900. So we do have a ABCDE correction. So here we do have this E wave. We're not 100% sure if this E wave is in or not. It does look like we might potentially retest this low of $622. And if this does break down, we do have targets below at 580 and 600 for bounces. And that is still, if that does happen, this count is still completely intact. And as long as we don't break below this wave C of 546 and make a lower low, then this count is completely valid. And the long-term picture for Tesla is looking very good. It's very interesting to note as well. This is a fractal that I have drawn out for a few weeks now, and it is just a mirror image of what happened before here in this yellow region. So here noted, we can see right at the end of this consolidation phase, we do get a gap up. And this catalyst last year was actually caused by S&P 500 inclusion announcement for Tesla. So that's that's what this gap up came from, and that ultimately led to the massive run from mid 400s all the way to 900 into the end of the year last year. So this is definitely interesting to see how the chart is placed time-wise, where we are basically coming to the end of consolidation period, right with earnings coming up. So this is definitely something just more conspiracy, but we may see earnings beat here. And if earnings do beat, we could see a repeat of what happened last year, where a catalyst propels Tesla upwards, and that gives it that last momentum push it needs to go on that continuing run, ultimately to $1,000 and possibly higher into the end of the year. So definitely interesting to note. I will not be trading Tesla most likely until after earnings comes out. So I do hold a Tesla January 2022 call position already that I've been holding. So I might add to it, but I would definitely wait until earnings to get a clearer direction, because if we do get an earnings miss and we do actually gap down into this 580 to $600 buy region, that might be a very optimal place that we might want to take advantage of and add to our position. So regardless, I would definitely pay attention to Tesla, how it reacts after earnings, and from there might give us a clear direction of what's going on. But yeah, so that is my top 5 stocks and chart setups I'll be watching this week. Are there any questions so far? Or if you guys have any tickers you want me to look at, please feel free to leave those in the chat right now. Just leave your ticker name and I will take a look at it. Thoughts on actually shorting Apple? So shorting Apple, I would not really. Um, you could short it. There's 2 possible plays you could take on the short, right? You could wait till we get into this region, right shy of 150, and maybe short it in this range and use 150 as your stop loss, where this would be a pretty high risk or a high reward, low risk setup, since you're basically shorting at resistance, and you just stop out if it crosses 150. So that's something that's possible to do. Um, I would definitely wait for that push up, though. I wouldn't short it yet. Um, and personally, I would definitely wait to short, just because that 150 level could get taken out, and if it does, I would definitely stop out very quickly, because when Apple does break those highs, and or when it does break its highs, usually like this, it'll go on a crazy run, like you saw the past couple of weeks here, where we thought Apple topped out at this 145 level from this previous double top, but once it came back up and shot back up past 145, you can see we surged all the way up to 150, a 5-point move. So I'd definitely be careful here, because if we do break 150, I can see 152 to 155 very quickly on Apple. But that's the first play you could take on shorting. Otherwise, you can wait and wait for this low to get taken out of 142. And if that does, then you can short, because you have that confirmation. Obviously, it'll be a lower gain trade, just because you're shorting lower at a lower level, but you're waiting for that confirmation. But yeah. So SPRT. Let's take a look. Right. So we have a penny stock. So penny stock here, SPRT. Let's take a look at history. Right. So let's look at a weekly chart. So SPRT here, looking strong. We did close above these previous highs, but one thing is concerning is this candle here, this large impulse candle. I'm assuming that's from news. So we are trading above all these moving averages, and we did trade quite violently to the upside. One thing to note is every time we do get a gap up, usually just from historically looking at SPRT, it does fade a little bit. You can see each time we get this massive move up, it does tend to fade before moving further. So I would expect, and these are weekly charts. So I would expect next week we possibly get a fade coming back down to potentially the $4 to $5 region, or $4.50 to $5 region. And if that does happen, it might be wise to buy that up. As we can see here as well, we do have an inverse head and shoulders pattern playing out. We can see here we have the left shoulder, we have the head here, and then we have the right shoulder over here on the right. So if this does confirm, and as long as this neckline holds, we can get a breakout potentially, and your target would be up here in this region. So you'd look for $8 and then 9.5. Let's see. Am also thinking of AMD calls just for one day before their earnings. Historically, green day before, then red day on the day of 27th. Okay, so let's take a look at AMD. And I think AMD is actually going to be better to look on thinkorswim because, yep, it's already up. um, so AMD here, let's take a look. So AMD from last week, we did from the watch list call out this buy box, which it held the golden pocket level perfectly. So this was a very, very good buy. And if anyone caught that, that's a super good buy. And you can see from here, we're up. Let's see, how much is this? This is a good, almost nearly 9.5% move on equity. So going into earnings, they do report on 7:27 after hours. So tomorrow, if you do trade that, you can. And you can see here, let's look at that statistic you looked at. So here, the previous day before earnings, it does gap up or have a pretty nice move to the upside. Here, we can see this one is um, more of indecision. So this one doesn't really validate that as much. Here also gap, it moved upwards, but more indecision. And then lastly down here, it did move upwards. So it does seem like it does trend upwards, but there's a lot of indecision when it does hit these levels. So possibly we can see AMD, as long as tech looks moves and moves well into tomorrow, we could see a possible move to this 94 to 95 region before possibly rejecting and ending up down in this 93 range for the end of the day. So if you do plan to day trade that, I would definitely day trade it, and I would be weary and take profits quicker than you normally would. Um, but yeah, that would just be a continuation play essentially. So you should just take calls above Friday's high. So that'd be like 92.37. Yeah. So above 92.37, as long as it holds through pre-market, you can take calls above there and use it as your stop loss to trade up to this 93, 94, $95 region. But yeah, I am still tracking AMD, and I'm looking for a pullback. So I'm actually just going to be waiting for earnings to happen, and then after that, depending on what happens with the chart, if it gaps up or down or just sideways, doesn't matter. I'll kind of see what to do from there. Um, but yeah, I am looking for a pullback though, because if we do chart out this uh, Fibonacci, we do get this one here, and I am looking for a potential second wave down. So anything in this 86 to 88 region, I would be interested in buying. So I am waiting for that to come back down and go long ultimately for a 95 plus target. But yeah, uh, yep, yep. Make sure you're not doing too much though. Um, with you, you're gonna do a day of calls and put swing for 3 to 4 days. Yeah, just make sure you're not trying to time the market too much. Just because with that, I mean, if you're right, yes, you will bank, but you might just be over trading yourself. So just remember, if you are gonna do a put swing, I would definitely wait until after earnings, or unless you want to make it like a lottery play. I would definitely be wary of that, and not get too confident with it. Just because if AMD does beat, they could just soar. So I'd be definitely very careful. But yeah, anyone else have tickers they want me to look at? All right, looks like we're good. But yeah, yeah. So definitely keep these tickers on watch. We have Apple, Neo, PayPal, Roku, and Tesla. Um, a lot of these have earnings this week, so it'll be a very exciting week. So with Tesla starting tomorrow, so definitely very excited for this to see how it turns out, and if my thesis is going to be correct, where we do gap up from earnings and just go on this monster run. So yeah, definitely look mid to long term on a lot of these, and just be careful, just because markets are obviously extended, um, like they have been for quite a while now. So just be careful, keep your stops up, and yeah, let's have another green week. So thanks for tuning in again this week, guys, and we'll see you next week. See you guys.